Amani Channel, this video fearless. Welcome, fam. All the folks that are my confidence accelerator, welcome to the live stream. You know we do this regularly. Teach you tips, tricks, and techniques to help you build your video muscle to get camera confidence so you can serve more, share more, and sell more. That's what we try to do. If it's your first time checking this, if you're on YouTube watching this, for example, or for instance, go ahead and like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, the notification bell. And so I am talking about four hacks or four shortcuts or four must-have pieces of equipment and four must-have steps that you need to take if you're gonna make videos. So if you're watching this live, go ahead and leave a comment below, put hashtag live. If you're watching this on the replay, it's all good too, because this information is going to be good regardless. And what I've been doing lately is I've been adding little video interstitials in these live streams, but I don't have that this week, so I'm gonna jump right in my content. So first and foremost, I need to ask you, how is your process? Do you have a workflow for making videos? Because you know this word called workflow. What is workflow? So for example, what is workflow? If you might be wondering what that is. So workflow is a professional term, and it basically refers to the process that you use to get from idea to completed video. And what's your process, and what's the steps that you take? And it can become almost routine. So there's going to be, like, if there are 10 different editors, there's going to be 10 different workflows. They're going to have ways they categorize their media. They're going to have ways they edit their videos, ways they organize, ways they use their hard drives, etc. Ways if they're shooters, they have a certain process to how they shoot their content, how they develop their story or their video in general. And so I'm going to provide like a framework that will help you get from point A to point B, or to A to Z basically, because we want to go from idea to completed video, and you want to do that in an efficient way that isn't going to take too much time. But if you're just getting started, it may take a little bit of time. Now I don't have any slides for you this week, so I'm just going to rattle off the top of my dome, because that's what I like to do sometimes. All right, so let's go with, first of all, I'm going to share the equipment in just a second, but maybe you already are pretty comfortable with the equipment. I'm going to go over that in just a second, so keep watching. But let's start with the process. So what is the first step? And I call this my video production formula. So if you're a little bit challenged with making videos, you just don't know how to go from point A to point Z, or idea to completed project, this will definitely help you understand the process. And I know this works because when I taught at Kennesaw State, I noticed that some of the students really weren't producing videos to what I felt like was to their potential. And so I came up with this process, and after they started implementing it, I noticed their production value increased, their stories got better, their overall productions just improved 100% or 1,000% even. Some of them went from creating okay videos to creating really excellent videos. All right, so that's what I want to share with you, is what process you can use and what you can apply to yourself. All right, so the first thing you need to do is you need to plan. And in video production, we call this pre-production. All right, but planning is really important because that's where you develop your message. That's where you make sure you have the gear, or if you're working with someone, if you have someone who's helping you shoot, you kind of make sure they have the gear, they know what they're getting into. So if they need microphones, they need audio, they need lighting, what exactly they need for the production. If it's just you yourself doing it, you need to have some basic gear. You need to have a script, you need to have an outline, you have to have a date when you're going to shoot, you need to have a deadline, we need to get everything done at a minimum. So that should all be part of your plan. And if you dot all your I's and cross all your T's, your plan will actually help your production be all the mo better, if that makes sense. So does that make sense to you? All right, give it a little applause there. Got some special effects now also, so I can make it real funky here. All right, so let's get into step number 2. So once you figured out your plan, right, you have your plan, you know what you're going to create. Oh, also brainstorming is really important, because before you can sort of come up with a concept, you need to have sort of a brainstorm session, or maybe you write down a bunch of video ideas, and then when you actually decide to create a video or a series of videos, you know exactly what you're going to create, what the topic is, what your audience needs to walk away with, what your call to action is. You all work out that on your messaging. All right, so I just wanted to make sure I added that asterisk to it. You got to brainstorm your video concepts. That's all part of the plan. All right, what do you do next? Well, the next step is the actual shoot. And if you planned effectively and sufficiently, the shoot should really be almost like a no-brainer. Really, the shoot should really just come together seamlessly almost. And so what does the shoot entail? What it entails setting up your gear. It entails bringing your talent. If you're producing your own video, like for me right now, I'm the talent, but I'm also, I'm not only the talent, but I'm also like the producer. I'm doing everything myself. So you have to know when you're going to shoot. You have to have a date. You have to know what kind of gear you need. So in my example, I have a couple of cameras set up that I'm using to switch. And I have some lights set up. I have a microphone right here that's out of the frame. That's the gear that I'm using. So you need to have all that set up in your plan so that when you come to the shoot, it's going to be all the easier. Because if you planned out really effectively, your production or your shoot should actually be fairly simple to accomplish. All right, so plan, shoot, edit. So edit is called post-production. Now, if you're going live like I am right now, I really don't have to edit this video necessarily, especially for Facebook where it's being shared with live. But like when I post it to YouTube later, I could go and add some other elements to it. I could edit it if I had some mistakes I wanted to edit out, which I normally don't do. I usually just upload these live videos and repurpose them without much editing. But that's something that I could do. So let me, just so you know who I is. All right, so editing is the third phase. And with editing, basically it's just, I call it trimming the fat. So you just want to polish your video, you want to trim out the excess, you really want it to be spot on in terms of the messaging. It's just, add music, narration, graphics if you need to, intro, and that's all built into the software that I use. So by using Ecamm, which is the program that I use, I'm able to almost edit live. So I can roll my intros, I can add lower thirds. This is all stuff that I would normally do in post-production or in the editing process, but I'm able to do that live using Ecamm, which is awesome software. All right, so what have we done? We planned, we've shot, we've edited. Now we're down to the last step, and the last step is fairly easy because if you've planned, if you've gotten to the end of the process, all you got to do is share your video. And let me don't want to cover my mouth. All right, so all you got to do is share. What does sharing entail? Well, usually sharing entails uploading it to a site, adding a description, adding what the content's about, maybe some teaser copy, and that's pretty much it. So you can share your content where? On YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. I would say those are the top 4 destinations, especially if you're in business. If you're looking to reach a specific audience. You could also, in terms of your strategy, you could upload to your business page and then run some ads to your video. It's just another option for you, and that's whether you go live or if it's a recorded video, you can do that. All right, so that's basically the process. It's fairly simple, right? So now that I've shared that with you, if you have any questions, leave them below. Whether you're watching this live or recorded, leave your questions below, and I'll make sure I go back and answer them. And so what kind of gear do you really need? Because you can't make a video without some basic equipment. So now that you have the plan, you shot that, now that you know the structure, the process of how your workflow should go, let's talk about the gear. So first of all, you need a camera. That's pretty much fundamental. All right, the next thing you need is some lights, and I have a couple lights. Let me see if I can okay, so that's one of my lights there. I have that little ring light. If I can point to it, I have that light, and then in addition to that, I have, it's even lower, so I can't show you my splash light that I use. All right, so I use that just to kind of change the color. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that I use green, yellow, red are the general colors that I use. I also want to get a blue and a purple. I might get, my son has these cool LED strips in his bedroom that I probably should use, because that way I could change the color pretty much in a second without having to change the bulbs out. All right, that's just a sidebar. All right, so you need a camera first and foremost. You need some light. Light's important. You need a tripod. So for all my cameras, like this camera's on a tripod, my other camera's on a tripod, this camera's on a little table tripod. A tripod is just going to ensure that your shot is steady and still, which it always should be. You can go handheld, but I really like steady still pictures. All right, so a tripod. And then what else? The last thing you need is a microphone, because you want your audio to be crispy, right? I want you to be heard and seen in the best light possible. Create content that's going to enhance your brand, that's going to add some value to your audience. So make sure you do all those things, and you will be well on your way. Devin,
yeah?
You want to say good night?
Good night.
You don't want to open the door? Just testing. All right. So what did we learn tonight? Well, we learned the 4 phases of production, are these 4 hacks, which is plan, shoot, edit, share, pre-production, production, post-production, and sharing your video. We also went over your 4 pieces of equipment that you must have. You need a computer, some software, hard drives, etc. as well. But you need a camera, lights, microphone, and a tripod. All right. And if you have that gear, you should be well on your way to making some awesome looking and sounding videos. There's some other things you need to know too. I mean, I haven't shared all my secrets in a 10-minute live stream, but I just wanted to sort of set the baseline, right? The basic at a bare minimum. This is the minimum viable steps and gear that you should use. All right. So if this was helpful, please let me know. I see a couple folks watching live, so that's awesome. Thanks for watching. I haven't even checked my comments, so I do apologize. But just know that I'll go back, and if you put live or replay, leave a comment question, I'll go back and I'll make sure I answer. I'll respond to it. By the way, if you're interested in, if you're a Mac user and you want to go live on Facebook, I really suggest that you're looking to get an Ecamm, because it has so many features. It can do so many things. So I will also leave a link to Ecamm. I think they have a free trial as well. I have a link that has a link to a free trial. You can just check it out if you're interested. But Ecamm is a great software. It does so many things. And so with that, like I said, you can just use it to edit live pretty much, which I love. All right, so let me lose this. And I'm going to say peace out with that. And we're going to end it like this. Peace.